Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Bleacher Bum Gaming, and this is a channel that will be devoted primarily to tabletop baseball gaming, but will also include some other genres and down the road possibly some video gaming as well, and will be the site where I unveil a game that I've been working on, a baseball game I've been working on for close to a year now that I hope to have done and ready to come out towards the end of 2018 or early 2019, but that time will come. Right now it's focused basically on streaming tabletop baseball games, and currently in my rotation are strat-o-matic, History Maker Baseball, and most recently, and what is probably quickly becoming my favorite, is the game you see in front of you, Payoff Pitch Baseball. And Payoff Pitch has a unique mechanic where every roll of the dice has a very unique pitcher-batter interaction, which is something that a lot of the 50-50 games such as Strat or Pursue the Pennant back in the day do not have, and really makes for an interesting concept. And Joe Bryan has done a great job producing this game, and so right now I have started a 1969 replay. And before getting into that, for those of you who may not be familiar with Payoff Pitch, I just want to talk a little bit about the mechanics. And what you have is 4 dice, 2 10-sided, 2 6, and also a deck of fast action cards if you prefer to play with those. I like the dice myself, though I will sometimes use the fast action cards for hit advancement. With each at-bat, you'll roll all the dice, and the 2 6-sided dice will prompt you to look at the pitcher's card. And we have Don Sutton here from the 1969 Dodgers. And you'll notice there are 4 primary batting areas that come off of the pitcher's card: wheelhouse, in play, patient, and tough. And in addition to that, there is a role for defense, which you see under number 11, and a ballpark, number 5, role where you will refer to the ballpark card in some of the charts to get the result. Once you determine what the result is based on the pitcher's card, you will then go to the batter's card, and we'll just use Tom Haller here, who is a Dodger teammate of Sutton's. And whatever you roll on the pitcher's card, you will then check the appropriate area under the batter's card, whether it be wheelhouse, patient, tough, or in play, and get the result based off the dice, if the dice fall within the range on that particular card or in that particular category. If they go outside the category, you'll then refer to the out column here on the right of the card, and it will tell you where the ball was hit and what the result was. In addition to that, there are some charts that come with the game for runner advancement, stealing, and again for the aforementioned defense, hit and run, as well as a rare play chart. And the ratings on the card also include for pitchers. You'll see under batting there, it will tell you which pitcher hitting card to use. There is a fielding rating and also an error rating. And the first letter you see on the card here is a fielding range. The number would be the error. The batter's cards do have the same information defensively: the position, range rating, which for Haller is a C, error rating is a 3 for Tom Haller, and then catchers and outfielders also have an arm rating. Below that, the running rating, double play, which is a batter's propensity to hit into a double play, their run rating, which comes into play on the coach's choice for advancement on a base hit, and then the steal rating. And the steal rating, if you're using the automatic steal system, which I do, that first number there will determine whether or not the player will attempt to steal, and then the letter grade after that is their steal rating, which in conjunction with the catcher's arm rating will give you the result of the steal. And as you can see here in F, Haller was 0 for 3 on stolen base attempts in 1969, so he is slothfully and not a runner. So in this particular game, I'm in the 9th inning, and this is the Dodgers versus Reds, opening day 1969. I've completed 2 games on opening day already. The first one was a 12-inning affair where the Senators edged the Yankees 4-3. And the second game, a game actually I wish I had taped, was the Giants going in to visit the Braves. And in that particular game, Phil Niekro for the Braves had a two-hitter going into the ninth inning when basically the Giants unleashed on his knuckleball, which apparently quit fluttering, for 5 runs, highlighted by a 3-run home run by Willie McCovey, and ended up taking a 5-4 win and a very exciting finish to that game. In this particular game, which is the last of the 3 opening day games for 1969, again, the Dodgers lead the Reds 3-1, and we're getting ready to start the ninth inning. And in this one, Wayne Granger has come on in relief of Jim Merritt for the Reds. And on the other side, Don Sutton, who has gone the distance thus far for the Dodgers and is staying in without a fatigue penalty due to the fact that the Reds have only scored 1 run, which I'll explain later, is still on the mound for the visitors. So what we'll do is I'll go through and play this last inning and just go through a little bit more slowly than I'll play regular games. It'll go up on the channel just so you can get an idea of how the game works for those of you who have not played it, and for those of you who have, make sure I'm doing it right. So for each batter, Tom Holler's leading off the top of the ninth for the Dodgers against Granger, and the roll here you see is an 8 and then a 84, and you read the 10-sided dice. The black die represents 10s and the white die represents 1s, so that's where the 84 comes from. And what you will do there is check Wayne Granger's card, which is tough. You'll go to the appropriate area on Tom Holler's card, and you can see tough here versus a right-handed pitcher goes up to 48. And so we're out of range there. You'll then go to the out column, find 84, and that will be a ground out 4-3 to second base. So Holler goes down. Next up will be Don Sutton, who will stay in the game since he does have a 3-1 lead. And with the pitcher's hitting card, again, you saw on their card they have a specific batting card, in Sutton's case 5, which they use. I'm sorry, 5. And you'll get all the results off column 5 on the pitcher hitting card. It goes up to 15. So there's a variety of different results. Some pitchers hit with a little bit more power, which will always be the even number on the hitting cards. So same concept. We'll go into the pitch. Granger winds up, and 9, which will be a patient. Now in the patient area, that's where all the walks, if any, come from. So you will then look at the second 2, and this is a 95. And on the number 5 hitting card, again, on patient, this is way out of range. So you'll go to the out column. 95 would be a fly out to left field. So we now have 2 down. And top of the order, Maury Wills will come up for the Dodgers. The ancient but still semi-fleet of foot Maury Wills. And in this game, Maury is 1 for 3 with a single, a walk, and he's scored a run. And the pitch from Granger. We have a 5, which will be in play, and 75. And again, on the in play area, you'll see that is well out of range versus a right-handed pitcher, as Maury's card only goes up to 30. 75 will be a fly out to center field. And the Dodgers are done in the top of the ninth. As we get ready to start the bottom of the ninth inning, I talked about the pitcher fatigue. Each pitcher has a fatigue rating, and Sutton's is 8, which basically means he can pitch fresh until he gets to the 8th inning, at which point he becomes fatigued, and you would then bring out another card to represent his fatigue state. The exception to that is, and actually there's two additional rules to that. The exception would be if the pitcher has given up 2 runs or less at the point they would normally become fatigued, which in this case Sutton has a 3-1 lead, so he qualifies and will get to stay on his regular, basically fresh card. If he had given up more than that, or if a pitcher gives up 6 runs at any time during the game, whether it be in the 6th inning or by the 2nd inning, they then become fatigued automatically regardless of their error rating. And what you'll use then is the pitcher's fatigue card. And as you can see here, it puts the wheelhouse area in a much more equitable spot for the batters, where you're going to roll that a lot more. And a lot more in play, less tough, and some patience in areas that are easier to roll for the pitcher as well. But as mentioned, Sutton is still fresh because he is pitching a masterful game at the moment. So he will stay in, and Alex Johnson steps in for the Reds. Johnson has gone 1 for 3 today. He has a single and has knocked in a run, also stolen a base. So Sutton will wind up and pitch. And 6 is tough. 69 is a result on the 2 10-sided dice. And you can see on Johnson's card, his tough range goes up to 51, so he will be outside of that. And 69 will be a fly out to center field. And that's 1 down for the Reds in the bottom of the 9th. Lee May will step up now. And in this game, Lee May is 0 for 3 thus far. And 6. So for Sutton, that is tough. And again, tough is the area on the batter's card where all of your strikeouts will come from. And 0-3, a low number like that, will pretty much always result in a strikeout. And you can see May against a right-handed pitcher is 1 to 63, so well within that range. May goes down on strikes, and that will be 2 down. And Tony Perez. Perez at third base at this point in his career, and his 1 rating tells you he is not exactly adept at that position, and the move to first base later obviously was a good one for him and the Reds. The pitch to him, 10 from Sutton, is a patient. And again, patience is where you will see your walks, 80. And that will be well out of range. You see on Perez's card versus right-handed, patient goes to 53. So 80 on the hitter's card will be a fly out to center field, and that will be the ball game. The Dodgers take it 3-1. And just in wrapping up, I want to go over a couple more things that obviously you're not going to get to cover in one inning that will come up in later games I play. So let's just take Bobby Tolan's card. So he's got a good run rating of 8 and steal of 5 and a C. So 5 he would go after a hit. And the way the automatic stealing system works is, let's just say Sutton rolls a 7, which would be in play. And then Tolan on his card would roll a 31. So 31 in play, and actually let's do this. That's a terrible example. We'll go 3, which is in play on Sutton's card, and 31 on Tolan's. And so that will be a single. Now the way the automatic steal system works is the 2 6-sided dice of a 3 on that at bat are going to be equal to or less than Tolan's steal or jump rating, which is a 5. So he will automatically at this point steal if you are using that rule. And how you determine whether the batter is safe or out, you take the steal rating, which is a C, and you compare that to the opposing catcher's arm rating. And for Holler, his arm is a 4. And what you have here on the steal card, so you'll look for C4, and you can see that's in the second column, right there. And you will roll the 10-sided dice to get the result of the steal. So 1 to 2 is a possible drop and error. 3 to 12 would be a stolen base, possible E2, and then 13 to 26 caught, 27 to 99 safe. So the roll on that is a 50, and in that column or in that area, it would be within the range for a stolen base, so Tolan would have successfully stolen second base in that case. Some other things that will come up in games as you play: the runner advancement chart. Two different ways to do that. I mentioned at the beginning that I sometimes will use the fast action cards to get that result. I like that. It's a little bit more random. On the dice rules, you will take, say on a single with the runner on first, you would take the first dice, and the number that was rolled on the first six-sided dice would tell you what the runner would do, and that would either be one base, two bases, or one base, and then coach's choice. And coach's choice, if that does come up, what you would do there, and we'll use Bobby Tolan as the example again, you would take the outfielder's arm rating and the batter's run rating, or runner's run rating, and Tolan is an 8 here for his run rating, and say the hit goes to center field. Center field for the Dodgers is Willie Davis, and he has an arm rating of 7. So on coach's choice, if you did choose to advance him, you'd roll the two six-sided dice, and if they were equal to or less than both the arm rating and the run rating, the batter would be safe going to third. The runner would be safe going to third. If one was higher than the other, which is the case here, it's equal to Tolan's 8, but more than the arm rating of Davis, which is a 7. There'd then be an additional step that you'd take. And on the runner advancement chart there, you'll see you'd roll the 10-sided dice at that point, and you'd have the possibilities of a drop throw in with an error, the batter out, wild, or safe. So in this particular case, we would go to the 10-sided dice, and that is a 45. And back to the runner advancement chart. And on the runner advancement, 45 would be an out, so Tolan would be out going to third base. So that's just another one of the situations that come into play where you do have to use the charts. I will say that probably, depending on the dice, 85 to 95% of the gameplay actually comes off the cards, and then a quick glance at the charts when there's runners on base. But again, very unique mechanics. In the time that I've been playing this, and I haven't played a ton of games, I just discovered it recently, and as I said, I'm really enjoying it, but I'm able to get through a game anywhere from 35 to 50 minutes, depending on the situation. Like that 12-inning game with the Yankees and Senators took me about an hour and 5 minutes to get through that, an hour and 10 minutes, and again, just because of one extra inning. So fairly quick to play. It doesn't play as quick as Strat or some of the other games, or APA, which I really don't play much, but Strat and APA, as you get good at that, depending on the rules, you can get through one of those games in 15 minutes or so. This will pretty much take you 25 to 30 minutes, but very enjoyable experience, good mechanics, and you'll be seeing a lot of it on this channel. So again, if you're watching this, please subscribe, and hope you enjoy the content, and thank you very much. We'll see you later.